This is Chris Broderick of Megadeth, and you're colliding with Yell Magazine.
So you're 7 shows deep in Gigantour.
Right.
How's it going so far?
Good. I mean, it's funny, now that I've got a few tours under my belt, I've kind of seen how things run smooth and when things don't run smooth, and it's almost like we picked up this tour and it was smooth right from the beginning. There were no hitches as far as production or gear or anything that the other bands weren't getting that they needed, so it's been awesome.
Is the hiatus due to the Big Four?
I'm sure that's it, but it's scheduling in general. If it had been another tour, another package, that could have taken up 2009, 2010, stuff like that as well. But it really is scheduling and when it looks right to actually present Gigantour. I had initially thought it was going to be an annual thing, but you never know.
Right. So going to the Big Four stuff and comparing it to Gigantour, I don't want to say which do you prefer, but can you compare them?
Well, yeah, you can definitely make a comparison.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the Big Four shows are over the top in terms of fan attendance, the bands that you're playing with, and just the size of things. But Gigantour has its charm too, because you are playing a little bit more intimate venues, and at the same time, we're headlining, so it gives us a little bit more luxury to be able to make sure our sound is dialed in and make sure that everything's just the way we want it, as opposed to what they call a throw and go, which is where you just set up and kind of hope things are going to sound good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Feedback, bad thing.
Right, exactly.
Out of the Big Four, the other bands, who were you most excited to meet, or had you met everybody before?
Well, I met the guys in Slayer. We'd done American Carnage, Australian Carnage. We'd done so many Carnages with them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
4 hours of the same.
And the Anthrax guys as well, So I would have to say it was really Metallica that I was most eager to meet, because I hadn't met them yet.
Okay. You have background training, education in classical music.
Right.
How did you end up playing metal?
I really do.
Well, I love both. I would say when I first was introduced, to the guitar, it was on metal, in metal. And then within a year, I started becoming interested in classical guitar. So I started taking lessons almost both at the same time. Probably 2 months prior, I started taking lessons in metal. I had to learn how to play like Yngwie, who I almost consider more classical than metal anyway. And then I started taking classical guitar lessons shortly after that. So yes, you can love multiple styles of music.
Yes, you can. And you started out playing violin, no?
No, I didn't start out. I almost did. When I was in 4th grade, I was going to play the violin, and somehow I think my parents missed the boat on the violin rentals it through the school or something like that.
Yeah.
So I never did. But when I took up the guitar, I'd been playing that for a while, and then decided I really liked the violin. And of course, Paganini and his caprices and all of that. So I bought a violin and started taking it in high school orchestra and on into college, but it wasn't my first instrument.
Okay, guitar was your first instrument?
Yes.
Okay, and what was your first guitar?
This is all of us going to the party together.
It was a Sears guitar.
A Sears guitar?
Yes.
Awesome.
It was awesome. Let me tell you, there's 18 frets, which a standard guitar today is like electric guitar is 22 frets, and you couldn't tune it. It had the weirdest bridge that was just screwed onto the body. And the first thing I did was painted it red and put black duct tape on it, just like Eddie Van Halen did.
Yeah.
But the funny thing about that guitar is, it was a horrible guitar. And so one day, after I moved on to other guitars, I just took it and I whipped it in the air like 30 feet and watched it come crashing down on concrete. Yeah, good riddance.
Yeah.
I found out later that guitar was kind of a collector thing, because some famous designer came in and designed the guitars for Sears when they made that guitar.
Okay.
It was worth like $1,000.
Oh my God.
Like so, live and learn. Check the value of something before you chuck it in the air.
eBay.
Yeah.
What do you like playing from Megadeth's back catalog? Like what's the challenge again? And were there any solos or riffs that you just couldn't get?
No, because you know the thing is I mean there would be the potential for that, but if I can't get it today, I know I'll get it tomorrow because I'll just keep working, you know, and that's just the way it is. So you know, when I look at a piece of material, it's not, well, can I play this or can I not play it? It's like, when will I be able to play it?
Right. How are fans responding to 13?
Pretty good. I think, yeah. I think they really like hearing Public Enemy #1, and they also like Who's Life. I've noticed when we play it live. But part of that, I think, is getting it out to people as well, and making sure that they've heard it. Because the odd thing for me was, is that, you know, sometimes when you talk to people, they won't like a song until they've heard it on the radio, or they've heard it, you know, for a while. And they're like, oh, you know, I do like that song.
Right.
So there's always a transition period between when a song seems to go over well and the pre-period where you had to work at it to get them to like it. So I think we're still working on some of that with some of the songs.
Okay. It's quite a transition from the era that we grew up in with metal, where it was all about debauchery. And, you know.
Well, that's when I think in a way you could afford that lifestyle. You know, there was so much excess in every way. You know, that's what it was. But that couldn't exist today. I don't think.
Labels aren't throwing money anymore.
Not at all.
How was it having Ellefson, a founding member, back in the band?
It's horrible having Ellefson as a member of the band. It's right with no, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
He's such a professional, and he's a great bass player, good friend. So, you know, I'm always bouncing ideas off of him. We're always talking. You know, so.
Has he given you any different perspectives of how things work, or how, like, historical Megadeth-related references?
Well, I'm always learning those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I think the thing that he's taught me most is really how to be more, you know, more sociable, more in the in front of the lens. Because to me, you know, I'd always rather be practicing, thinking about my music and going over things and stuff like that.
Not the circuit.
Right. And there's a whole different side to music that I never understood until now. You know, the whole developing a personality behind it. So that's one thing that he's done a great job of teaching.
The final message for the fans that you'd like to express?
Just always, thanks guys for everything that you've done for us. You know, the ability to be able to play the instrument and do what I love for a living. I owe it all to you guys, so thank you very much. Rock on.